I'm MJ, and this is MJ Does Movies. This week we're going to be reviewing Star Trek 3, The Domination, or Star Trek 3 Beyond, or just Star Trek Beyond, whatever it's called. The film stars Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto, Simon Pegg, loads of other people. Just so you know, when I do these things, there's no spoilers, but I'll just recount the first act, which is the story, which is kind of what they give away in the trailers. So I always just recount the first act. There's no major spoilers in there, so now you know. Star Trek is something I've never really been a huge fan of. I mean, growing up I used to watch Star Trek. That's because when I was growing up in the UK, we had 4 fucking channels. There wasn't really a lot else on to watch, so I ended up watching all of the classic Star Treks, Next Generation, Voyager, Deep Space Nine, just out of trying to fill up time. Of course, I'm familiar with all the films from them being on TV. I think by the time I got to the age where I was old enough to appreciate Star Trek, it kind of felt like watching my grandfather being a space adventurer, and I didn't find that very appealing. To me, it was all very lackluster, but that's just my opinion. I don't want to say, fuck you, Star Trek hater, in the comments. That's just how I felt about it. So when they rebooted the films in 2009, I saw the trailers. Oh, okay, this looks more exciting. The last 2 films, Star Trek in 2009 and Into Darkness, I thought they were great. Much more in line with what I want out of movies, and I think the best way to put them is that the old series were kind of space adventures, while these new ones are like space action adventures. And that's a bit more in keeping with what I like about movies. This new series I've really enjoyed. And I think this is probably the best way you could ever reboot a series, by connecting it to the old series but making it its own thing. With that said, let's talk about Star Trek Beyond. When we last saw the crew of the Enterprise, they were off on their 5-year mission to go boldly and do some shit in space. Here we meet them as they're kind of either finishing or stopping off for a break from their mission. Space has been a bit tough for the main crew. Captain Kirk kind of a bit sick of it all, and so he decides that he's going to quit, and so does Spock. Then they receive a distress call from another spaceship. This alien woman arrives and says, I need your help. Someone attacked our ship. So Kirk and them all kind of get together and go, right, he's decided this will be my final mission. I'm going to come back, I'm going to quit. They go out there and it's an ambush. For the 3rd fucking time in a row, the Enterprise gets like obliterated and it crashes into this planet. So they're trapped on this planet. The guy who ambushed them now has the crew. Only a select few of them escaped, and now they have to get their crew back. That's kind of the plot of the film. So is it a good film? Let's talk about it. First I'll talk about the problems with the film, and then I'll talk about what I liked. And that's kind of my general approach at this point. Just because I don't like some stuff about a film doesn't mean I hated it. Just because I like some stuff about the film doesn't mean I've super liked it. I try to give it a balanced opinion. So here's some of the problems. The film's kind of treads a lot of the same water as the other films. At this point now, I think we've got the 3rd bad guy who's got like a grievance with the Federation. Again, that's not a spoiler, that's in the trailers. This is the 3rd time that the Enterprise has been like fucking wrecked. People getting fucking sucked out into space and come up with something new. So it does tread a lot of the same water. But what's good about it is that the characters are really good. So even though it's kind of quite a trite storyline, the characters are really interesting, they're fun to watch, and at this point I feel really engaged with them all. I enjoy the way they all interact with each other, and I kind of enjoy their relationships, and I never thought I'd feel that way about Star Trek. You know, it's fun, and there's a lot of cool action in there, but one of the standout things about it is Sophia Boutella from Kingsman Secret Service, who's the no-leg martial arts girl. Now I'll just find out what she's called. And she plays a character called Jayla, and she's like a super badass alien who's kind of been marooned on this planet. She meets with Simon Pegg and they kind of team up to try and save the rest of the crew. She's excellent, she's really, really good. Idris Elba turns up in this movie because of course he does. He's in every film, ever, now. But he's really good in it, he's really good. To be honest, had someone not told me Idris Elba was going to be in it, I wouldn't have even realised it was him until the end of the movie. That might be a spoiler, but he's in the trailers and stuff, so I mean, again, how can it be? Overall, it's a great movie, it's worth watching. If you like the first 2 movies, it's probably almost as good as those. Into Darkness is probably still my favourite. I like the darker tone of that one. I want to say this. This is a 3rd movie in a series that's actually pretty good. And I want you to think about the last time that happened. X-Men The Last Stand, Dark Knight Rises, Spider-Man 3, Godfather 3, Jaws 3D, Leprechaun 3, actually no, that was pretty good. Halloween 3, I'm just kidding. Everyone likes Halloween 3, I know that. My point is that 3rd movies in a series are impossible to get right, so it seems. The fact that they kind of got this down as a good movie is kind of a miracle. So that was my review of Star Trek From Beyond. Just Beyond. If you liked it, please like this video below and please subscribe to my channel and let's talk about Star Trek in the comments. Until next time, don't say goodbye, just say good journey. And if you like this video, you can watch more right here, right now. So Lewis just texted me to tell me he's doing his own reviews. I'll even leave a link in the description below. So anyway,